Hello, class, and welcome to Professional Communication and Rhetoric for social and community service workers. Today, we'll be diving into the very important topics of memorandums and meeting minutes. Now, these two forms of written communication are essential in effective and efficient communication within the workplace. So, throughout this presentation, we will explore the reasons why memos and minutes are important, what they are, and how to write them effectively. And hopefully by the end of this lecture, you'll have a clear understanding of the importance of memos and minutes in the social and community service sector, as well as the skills necessary to create them. So the three main themes that we will cover in this lecture are, first off, the importance of memos and minutes in the workplace. And secondly, what are memos and minutes? And finally, tips for writing effective memos and minutes. Now, memos and minutes are crucial for clear communication within organizations, and as social and community service workers, it is essential that we master these skills. As we dive into this topic, keep in mind that the ability to write clear, concise, and effective memos and minutes is an important aspect of your professional presence and communication skills. So, as always, I like to start off with a little bit of a story or something that can kind of highlight this. And so one example that highlights the importance of good minutes in social and community service work comes from a case study conducted by the Center for Nonprofit Management in Los Angeles, California. Now, in this case, a nonprofit organization was facing financial difficulties due to poor management practices. And the organization's board of directors held a meeting to discuss potential solutions and make some important decisions. However, the minutes for this meeting were not properly taken, and important details were left out. As a result, the decisions made during the meeting were not fully documented and communicated to all the relevant parties. And this lack of transparency and accountability led to some confusion and distrust among the stakeholders, which ultimately contributed to the organization's continued financial struggles. Now, this case kind of underscores the critical importance of good minutes in social and community service work, because minutes serve as an official record of decisions made, of discussions had, and action items assigned during meetings. They provide a clear and accurate summary of what transpired and what is essential for ensuring that everyone is on the same page and that decisions are implemented effectively. Good minutes also promote accountability and transparency, which is essential for building trust among stakeholders. By clearly documenting decisions and action items, minutes help ensure that everyone is aware of their responsibilities and that progress is being made toward achieving common goals. Now, to avoid the mistakes made in this case, it's important to ensure that someone is designated to take accurate and complete minutes at all meetings. And this person should be responsible for capturing all relevant details, including who was present, what was discussed, and what decisions were made. And of course, it's always important to distribute minutes in a timely manner to all of the relevant parties to ensure that everyone is aware of what transpired and can take appropriate action. And this would be like the people that are actually involved in the meeting should have a copy of the minutes so that they have a record of what transpired, the kinds of decisions were made, and the direction that the organization is taking. So It's important to keep good minutes simply for the basic life and progression of the organization. Now, the other thing to be mindful of is that they also serve as the official record of decisions made, and that promotes accountability and transparency, which are essential in building trust with the people that are funding the organization as well as the people that are accountable for the success of the organization. So by taking the time to ensure that minutes are accurate and complete and distributed in a timely manner, organizations can avoid costly misunderstandings and ensure that everyone is working together towards common goals. Now, what I'd like to do next is just kind of highlight the importance of memos and minutes within social service organizations. So let's start off with memos first. Now, memos are a fundamental part of communication within social service organizations, and it is essential to understand their significance. So I want to kind of highlight here, first off, the importance of the memos as well as a few elements, and then we will later on in the lecture delve in a little bit more deeply into memos. But first off, just what's the importance of a memo? Well, a memo, let's kind of highlight a little bit of what it is, and we'll delve into that a little bit later as well. But a memo is also known as a memorandum, which is a written message that is typically used to communicate within an organization. So memos are usually short and concise, with a specific purpose and a specific audience within the organization, and they're used to convey information within the organization or make requests within the organization or provide updates within the organization or offer recommendations within the organization. Now, memos are important for several reasons. First, they are an effective way of communicating information within the organization. Memos can be quickly and easily distributed to all the relevant parties, ensuring that everyone has access to the same information. And additionally, memos provide a written record of communication within the organization, which can be used as a reference for future decisions or actions. And memos can also be used to document decisions and agreements made during meetings or discussions. Moreover, memos can help to improve communication and collaboration within an organization. Effective memos can facilitate the sharing of ideas, opinions, and feedback between colleagues. And memos can also help to establish clear expectations and objectives, ensuring that everyone is working towards the same goal. When writing a memo, there are several key elements that should be included. The first is the heading, which should clearly state the purpose of the memo. The heading should include the date, the subject, and the recipients, and the body of the memo should be concise and clearly written with a logical flow of information. And the memo should also have an introduction, the main points, and a conclusion or recommendations. And finally, the memo should be signed by the author and distributed to the relevant parties. Now, research literature has demonstrated that the importance of this kind of effective communication within social service organizations. Durlac and Dupre, in some research from 2008, highlighted that memos are effective ways of communicating and collaborating within a social service organization. And Troutman, in 2006, did an additional study that found that memos are a good, clear, and concise way of improving the effectiveness of social service organizations. And memos are an essential part of communication within social service organizations because they are efficient, effective, and can improve collaboration and decision-making. And they provide a means of sending clear information throughout the organization. Now, we previously discussed memos as an essential tool of communication. Let's go on now and look at minutes. Now, minutes are a written record of the proceedings of a meeting, and they include a summary of discussions, decisions made, and any actions that are taken. And they serve as an official record of the meeting and are typically reviewed and approved by the participants at the meeting. Now, let's discuss why minutes are important. Now, one of the primary reasons is that they provide a permanent record of the meeting. And this is important because it allows participants to refer back to the meetings at a later date to ensure that the decisions and actions are being properly followed up on. And this is especially important in social service organizations where they are often involve many stakeholders, and decisions can have a significant impact on the lives of those that are being served. Now, another important reason why minutes are essential is that they can help prevent misunderstandings and disputes. By providing a clear and concise record of the proceedings, minutes can help to ensure that all participants have a common understanding of what was discussed and decided upon. And this can be particularly important in cases where there are disagreements or conflicts over the decisions that were made. In addition, minutes can also be a valuable tool for accountability and transparency. By ensuring that all decisions and actions are properly recorded, minutes can help to hold individuals and organizations accountable for their actions. And this is especially important in social service organizations where there may be legal or regulatory requirements for record keeping. Now, let's look at some specific examples of how minutes are used in social service organizations. One study conducted by the University of Michigan found that minutes were used extensively in the meetings of nonprofit organizations, and 94% of organizations reported that they used minutes to record decisions and actions. And the study also found that minutes were often used to communicate decisions to external stakeholders such as funders and partners and clients. And it should be mindful that in most places it's required that minutes be taken at least for the corporate meetings of an organization. Another example of the importance of minutes can be seen in the case of the Flint water crisis in Flint, Michigan. In this case, minutes of public meetings were critical in holding officials accountable for their actions and their inactions. The minutes helped to document the decisions that were made and the discussions that took place, which were later used in investigations as well as in legal proceedings. So, in essence, minutes are essential in the life of any social service organization, as they provide a permanent record of the proceedings of a meeting, and that can help to prevent misunderstandings and disputes. It can be used to hold individuals and organizations accountable for their actions, and it can also demonstrate proper procedure and care in the running of the organization. It's also mindful that these minutes should be reviewed and approved at the next meeting to ensure that there is no errors. Good minutes, in essence, are essential for social service organizations as they serve also as a legal record of the decisions and actions that were taken. And these minutes can be used as evidence in court to prove that an organization acted in a reasonable and responsible manner. Without an accurate and comprehensive minutes, social service organizations are at risk of facing legal challenges and being held liable for their actions. And one example of the importance of good minutes in legal cases is the case of Joffrey versus Redmond. And in this case in the United States, a patient committed suicide while under the care of a mental health facility. And the patient's family filed a lawsuit against the facility, claiming that they were negligent in their treatment of the patient. Now, the facility was able to provide detailed and accurate minutes of their meetings, which demonstrated that they had followed proper procedures, and made appropriate decisions regarding the patient's care. The court ultimately ruled in favor of the facility, citing the comprehensive and accurate minutes as a key factor in their decision. Now, another example is the case of an unnamed claimant in a social service organization where the employee filed a lawsuit against the social service organization for wrongful termination. And the organization was able to provide minutes that documented the employee's poor performance in violation of company policies, which helped the organization successfully defend against the lawsuit. Now, in order to ensure that minutes are comprehensive and accurate, they should include the date, time, and location of the meeting, as well as the names of all attendees and any guests. The minutes should also document the agenda items discussed, the decisions that were made, and any action items assigned. And it is important to note that minutes should be objective and unbiased, avoiding the inclusion of personal opinions or any irrelevant information. So, in conclusion, it's clear that both memos and minutes are important as they provide effective, clear communication, and in the case of minutes, that they are the official legal records of the life of the organization, which is crucial in the legitimate, ongoing functioning of any social service or community service organization. Hope you enjoyed this part of our lecture. We're going to pause now and let you take a little bit of a break. And when we come back, we will be exploring a little bit of executive summaries as well as how to write good memos and good minutes. I'll see you in a little while. You take care. Goodbye.